Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to go through our microfinance system, EzzyBooks for finance and banking. We will be able to go through the loan processing, loan transaction, some maintenance activity of the loans, financial reporting, and all the other aspects that are related to this kind of business. I'll take a few minutes to be able to introduce the brand, EzzyBooks for finance and banking, and then immediately we'll be able to go through the system. So as mentioned, the brand is EzzyBooks, a product of OpenCast Labs, a Kenyan company. So I'll go through a quick intro where we'll be able to enumerate the functions that we have in our EzzyBooks Finance and Banking. Quickly, with the system, we are able to manage customer information, including their file. Those are documents like the application form, their photos, their IDs, every other information that is related to the customer. We're able to go through the whole loan processing and transaction process, including maintenance activities like working with interest and penalties and other related activities. We are able also to do management of share and savings. This is related to people who are in the circle business, where we are able to manage these products. The system is able to handle deposits and withdrawals. We are able to do over-the-counter withdrawals for deposit-taking circles that have over-the-counter activities. The system has unlimited reports for both loans and customers, which we customize for customers according to their needs. Though there is a load of reports that are already in the system, as we'll be able to see the system is hooked into a HRM and payroll module to be able to report salary activities of employees. All these activities, all these operation activities report to the finance and accounting module so that you're able to pull your finance reports from the system in real time. The system is already in use, quite stable, is in over 100 circles and microfinance institutions in Kenya right now. I have just highlighted a statement on other modules that we have. We have a retail module that is covered in other videos where we are managing hotels, restaurants, and that kind of business. We have a host of other institutions that are using EzzyBooks custom software solutions, from mobile apps to web applications for their custom needs. All our software applications are fully custom, 100% developed by our in-house engineers. So the flexibility is there according to the needs of the customer. So we are kind of spread across the country. As you can see, there is some concentration around Nairobi. Then we have footprints all around the counties for both our retail and our retail management module and our finance and banking module, being the two very best performing modules. So with that introduction, I would want to jump into the system so that we can be able to go through it and see what it has in store for us. So just like any other banking institution, banking applications are preferably applications that are installed in our local infrastructure for security purposes. We will be able to open our EzzyBooks application by double-clicking the icon on the desktop, which will be available after installation. Everybody will be given their password, and then By inputting your password, there will be a display of all the branches that you are allowed to access. In a scenario where we have a microfinance that have branches all over the country, we have users like mostly the finance guys, the people in charge of credit. The key staff will be allowed to log in to different branches. Others will be allowed just to log into one branch. Let us log into this branch that I have called XX Microfinance for the sake of this demo. So once you are accept to enter into the system, the arrangement of the system has the administrative menus. First, what is the file and the setup? Then we have the customer management menu. We have accounting. We have loan management, which carries all the processes of working with a loan. Then we have HRM, which generally manages the employees. Quickly, I'll mention a few things about the file tab, where we do our backup. This is where we can restore our backup. Backup can be done either locally or in the cloud, login, log off facilities. If we want to move from one branch to another without logging in, logging out from the system, we can be able to just tick what branch we want to go to, and the system will directly log us to that branch. That is for efficiency. We can change our passwords. Remember, this is our security to the system. We don't want a transaction to be attached to someone else while it is not us that we did it. There are some utilities. These are mostly used by our engineers during implementation. Here we can be able to import customer lists. We can be able to import existing data so that even if we catch you having been in another system, having data that is in some spreadsheet, we can be able to capture that data, and you will continue using the system with your historical data. That is fine. When you come to setup, here there are activities like creating user creation. You can be able to create branches. If you have more than one branch, you can be able to create it from this point. You can be able to add as many branches as possible, each of them operating from their own database, preferably. We have user rights, very important. The activities that we'll be doing today, we'll be doing them from a super user account. So you'll see the person will be able to do processes from processing a loan, doing loan entry, doing approvals, disbursing, taking loan payments. But in a true scenario, each and every person in the institution will be given their rights. Our rights are menu-based. For example, we could have people who can only do loan application only. So here is where we manage that. We basically pick an activity like loan processing and say this person can only be able to do loan application. So if I choose a guy here and I say their function is to do loan application and appraisal, that is the only thing they'll see in the system. So that is to be able to have a maker checker kind of scenario where you do stuff and people check what you do. So that is on setup. Another important facility on setup is a facility to create email, the from email, where we can be able to send emails from the system. This can be used to send statements, for example. You can send statements to customers. This could also be used to be able to send daily reports to managers. We can have shots being fired from the system to the manager's inbox for the daily reports set up at the time of implementation. We can do the same for bulk SMS. We can hook your bulk SMS account to the system, such that, for example, loans that are due in 5 days, our customers will be able to get an SMS shot today telling them their loan is due in 2 days, in 3 days, or whatever preference that we have. So we'll be able to hook our your sender ID and your bulk SMS account. So you'll just be refilling your account, and then shots could be coming from the system. For example, if I wanted to do a shot to all my customers, I would come to a report like this customer information list. If I load this, I could say I can check all the customers, and then send SMS, and then I can be able to choose my sender ID and write an SMS that I can be able to send to these people. That is just an example. It is limitless. Once you capture the details of the customers, it is limitless what you can be able to do with the SMS. So apart from that, very importantly, we also have audit trail. This is where we can be able to see the activities that are being done in the system. For example, if I say sign in audit, the system will show me what activities have been done in the system today. The guy who has logged in, the date they have logged in, the computer they have logged in, and the comment regarding the logging in, what database they have logged in, and such stuff. Yeah. You can be able to toggle these dates to be able to see an audit of sign-in for different dates. We also have activity audit. For example, if I change something, if I came to customer and selected a guy like this Anisette and said I want to edit, for example, their ID number. I want to edit their ID number, save that, and say okay. If I come to audit trail and say activity audit, it will show me this guy called Joab edited this account from this original data to this change data. These reports are accessible by only people with rights. We call it exceptional reporting. So we have a capture of all the activities that happen in the system that can be shared with the management, so that they can be able to follow up who is doing what in the system. Still on setup, the system is multi-currency. The system has a sync facility. Very important for people that are working in branches. You realize that if I have a microfinance and some of the branches are in a remote area, I would want to have an interconnection of these branches such that transactions that are happening in the remote branches can be able to be viewed, for example, from the HQ. This sync facility is our own innovation, which enables us to have that connection even if the remote branch does not have very stable internet. Some systems will require you to buy a VPN. Some others will require the system to be web-based, which is not very friendly for transactions. So the sync facility helps us to be able to have a real-time connection, regardless of the type of connection you have in your remote branches. Yeah, so that would wrap up our file and setup, mainly the administrative activities. And the approach I want to take in the demonstration is do one activity which cuts across a board. We'll book a customer, go through the processing of a loan, and be able to see various reports, and that would be it for this video. So I will start with customer. Basically, we'll be able to create customer types. We'll be able to create account products during setup, and probably some customer charges. But on the user front, once we do this will be done during implementation, where we'll say we have a loan account, we have a savings account, whatever other accounts are relevant to the type of business. So on the views on the customer side, if I want to book a customer, for example, I would come to the customer information window and be able to book their information. Let's say, for example, I want to book a new customer. Let us call this customer Caroline Wamboi, for example. Then we say she's female. We put their ID number. We book their phone number. Generally put the basic details of the customer. This information alone will allow you to save the customer. This is just the required information, but you realize there are other bits of information that we may want to add. We may want to add some more contact info, additional information which can be booked from this area. Important also, we may want to attach a photo. For example, I would want to edit and attach the photo of this guy. I would pick a photo and then have their photo. So additionally, we can be able to add some more customer images. We can be able to go to other images. For example, we can be able to add their ID and say upload, then choose their ID here, say next. Yeah, we can be able to add something like their PIN, for example, upload, pick their PIN, yeah, and say next. So you can be able to maintain customer images under their profile, which can be browsed later. If I come to other images after searching the customer, I will be able to see all the images under that customer. So after you've booked the customer, the next activity is to open them an account. For example, the microfinance is a loaning institution. They're in the business of selling money. So the relevant account here is a loan account. So I would want to basically get this person. We call them Caroline Wamboi, and I want to manage accounts and say I want a new account, and this account is a loan account, and basically say save. This will be able to enable me to be able to give this person a loan. So we'll need to note this name, Caroline Wamboi, because all through the demo, we'll be using that name to be able to demonstrate different functions of the software. After you've booked the customer, the next activity that we would want to do is be able to give this person a loan. Before we give them a loan, I'll explain a little about the activities that we do during implementation. First, we'll need to set up your loans. Yeah. So like we'll be able to come and say, we have a loan, we can add a new loan here. We can be able to call it whatever name you want to call it. We'll give that loan different parameters, including the calculation. You can see one of the very sensitive area in microfinance is how we calculate our interest, because it is different from microfinance to microfinance. But you'll be assured you are covered by the pool of people that are using the system with different calculations. So you'll be able to customize your calculation and be able to fit it. For example, in a banking scenario, we're supposed to have only flat, compound, and reducing types of interest calculations, but you realize in microfinance institutions, reducing balances will vary from one microfinance to another. Flat will vary, reducing will vary from one to another. So we'll be able to incorporate that and be able to do your loan setup. Another thing that we do during the setup is be able to register your category types, whether you are taking security for land titles, logbooks, charters, whatever type of security you're using. You'll be able to book your loan officers, yeah, so that each loan is attached to a loan officer. Importantly, we are able to capture commissions for these loan officers, so that you can be able to get reports that can be able to highlight reports for commissions for each loan officer. We'll be able to capture charges, yeah, the valuation fees, the tracking fees, the processing fees, and any other charge that you have. So after the setup is done, the loan processing using EzzyBooks is a three-stage process. We'll do the application, we'll do loan entry, and then we'll do loan approval. Basically, loan application is the first step where we pick the customer details and be able to determine how much money they want from us. Then loan entry, we'll be able to manage things like the loan duration, the interest rate that are supposed to pay, and then we go to loan approval. Let's start with loan application. On loan application, what we need to do is pick the customer name. We'll use the Caroline Wamboi, yeah. Then once we pick the name of the customer, we go to new. Here we can be able to apply a new loan, which is what we will do. But there are other activities like a loan top up, a loan reschedule, which will not be covered in this video, but available in the system. So we'll say new loan and be able to declare what loan they want. They want this loan called Teke Teke, and they want 20,000, for example. Yeah, they want 20,000. So at this level, at the application level, we can be able to save this loan, and it is showing us there's an exposure of 20,000. Is negative because we are at risk of losing 20,000 because we have not uploaded any form of security. So the next step would be booking a collateral. Yeah, we'll come to collateral here. You can see there are different functions for the security, but the most relevant one for microfinance institutions is collateral. So we'll click on collateral, and we can be able to specify what kind of collateral we are taking. So if we say new here, it will give us a reference number. We can say, for example, they are securing their loan with a car. So I pick logbook and say this car is how much? Is 300,000, for example, 300,000. We are taking 50% of the collateral. Those are the settings that we have put. So we can go ahead and put the details of this car that we want to use as a security for the loan. So on entity, I can go to entity and be able to create a new collateral item. I say this car is KCS 200J, for example, just some number I cooked. So the type is a motor vehicle. The description, for example, let us say it's a blue Subaru. Yeah, blue Subaru owners know themselves. We can put the engine number. We can put the chassis number, the year of manufacture. I say it was manufactured in 2010. The model, I can say it's Impreza. The CC, I can say is 2000. The body, I can say is saloon. Just an example. Then the market value, I'm claiming my car is 500,000. So that is the market value, but when we go to valuation, we find it is 300,000. Then I can save these details. So once I save these details, they are available now on my collateral. I can repeat my description here. It's a Subaru. I can be able to attach images. I can attach the image of this car here, yeah, a picture of the car, and can be able to save this. Once I save this, the picture of the car, I can add more images. I can add more images. Sorry, I will have to declare I want to edit. I say more images. For example, I would want to book the logbook. I want to book the logbook. So I would say this and pick the logbook, for example, and add any other images that we want. I see many institutions would want to capture the NTSA search certificate for the car. Yeah. So you add as many images as you wish, and these will be stored in this section of the system. So that completes our collateral booking, and as you can see, our collateral is 150,000, and our exposure now is in the positive of 130,000, meaning that we have taken a loan of 20,000 and given a car that has a first sale value of 150,000. So our company is safe, and with an extra of 130,000 that secures our loan. So once this is done, what we need to do is forward this loan now to the entry level. So you can see the minimal details are shown here. You're able to see the loans that have not been forwarded from this sneak preview. So I will say forward, and this loan now will be forwarded to the entry level. There are setups where once I'm done with the application, it is another person who will log into the system and go to entry so that they can be able to find this loan. But since I've given the user job super rights, so they'll just come to loan processing, come to loan entry, and be able to see there is one loan that has been entered. You can see it pops us. There's a one loan that that has been sent to entry. When I go to entry, I find it's the loan that we have just booked for Caroline Wamboi, and I can be able to expand that and be able to get the details of the loan. From here, I'll be able to do a few things. I'll be able to check on the rate. This is the annual rate. Basically, this is to say is 12% per month, so it becomes 120% per annum. I'll be able to manipulate the periods. For example, I can say, I want to edit this and say this guy will pay in 3 months, not 1 month, and I can be able to refresh, and you see there are changes in the mini amortization that shows. So this one shows the installment, the total interest, the total repayable, the principal, the loan type. Yeah, there's a mini amortization that shows when we want when we are at the loan entry stage. We can be able to see the charges that are here and can be able to manipulate what charges don't apply to this loan. For example, you can say there was no legal fees that was charged to this person, joint registration was there, there was no rollover amount, for example, and we say these are the charges that apply to this loan, for example. We can change a few things at entry level. We can check our loan exposure. This shows the collateral value, and we can be able to see what collateral this is. We can be able to go to more images and be able to see the car that we booked earlier at loan application. So once we are comfortable with this, we'll save the loan and we'll be able to forward it for approval. We'll be able to forward. We can forward with a note. The security is sufficient, for example. is a note, just is optional. You can either put the note or not, and that loan has been sent to approval. As we said earlier, that now will appear in the portal of the person doing approval. And when you go to loan approval, surely we will find an approved loans, and we go to an approved loans, we can be able to see the loan for Caroline Wamboi. At approval stage, there are three things we can do. We can either check this loan and approve it, we can reject it, or we can take it back. By minimizing here and saying take back, we'll take this, by checking this box, it will take that loan back to entry level. But right now, for the sake of this demonstration, I'll be able to see the exposure just like in entry. The average TRI is a display that will be shown of the score of this person on how timely they repay their loans. This is the timely repayment index. So for the sake of this demonstration, I'll approve this loan. I'll approve this loan, and now it is ready for disbursement. Quickly, we are done now with the loan processing stage, and we'll go to the loan transaction where we find loan disbursement. And just like we did with the other stages, we'll go to non-disbursed loans, and we'll be able to find Caroline Wamboi here, and we'll be able to pick their loan. Once we pick their loan, we can declare what mode they are paying. Let's say they are paying via M-Pesa, and we can have a reference. We can book a reference of the M-Pesa payment. We can look at the charges and be able to see what charges apply to them. For example, we can say all these apply to them, and we say done, so that we can be able to see the amount of money that we are giving them. Once this is done, you may want also to select the account from which the M-Pesa is being disbursed from, and then we save, and this will be able to process the disbursal. We can be able to print the offer letter. Once you process the disbursement, this will be the offer letter that shows the breakdown of all the charges that are involved, the principal and all the charges that are there, and the customer is supposed to sign against this. This is a requirement, is a central bank requirement to be able to have the customer sign against what they are borrowing. So that disbursement is done, and the process now that remains is to wait for the repayments from the customer, and that is also in transactions. Once the customer comes up for payment, we go to loan repayment and be able to find this guy called Caroline Wamboi. Yeah. And then this is the loan they want to repay. I'll tick the loan and be able to say they are paying the loan, for example, in cash. So this money will come in our cash in hand account, and they are paying 5,000, for example. Yeah, there are no charges for the payments. I can put some reference and save this transaction. I save this transaction, and I can be able to print a receipt. Yeah, can be able to print a receipt to show that they have been paid. To put our signature there, showing the details of the company and this particular transaction. So that is the through and through steps of processing a loan. Other activities that are included in the system, for example, is we can be able to pull a statement. We can be able to go to Caroline Wamboi, and be able to say this loan is what we want a statement for. We can be able to see we disbursed a loan of 20,000. There was a payment of 5,000. There are 3 periods, so we have a flat rate of 2,000 each month. So we have a calculation of the interest. There's running balance as we do the activities of receiving payments. Then we'd be able to to have them in the statements. The other facilities like loan calculator. Someone would want to know, they are coming to a reception and asking if they want 500,000 at 10,000 for a length of 6 months, what will their schedule look like? So we have an amortization there, which we can print and give to the customers. We have other activities, maintenance activities. Our interest calculation are automated, which is optional. Some customers would want to do the computation of interest every month. Others would want it automated. So the activities that relate to that. We have activities, maintenance activities like reversing interest, reversing repayments, which are rights that are given to specific people that are charged with doing these activities in the institution. We have reports. We have reports. That are unlimited. Yeah, this is what is hooked in the system right now. But any report that relates to the data into the system, we can be able to customize it and give to the customer. For example, the main report here is the loan activity list, where you can be able to see different metrics of our loans. Yeah, we can be able to see the loans that we have given out. We can be able to see the maturity date, the loan officer, the interest. Yeah. Up to what is the balance. We can see the total payment, what is the opening balance, the interest, the payments, the penalties, waivers if there are any, and the balance of each customer. And we can be able to drill down. We can be able to drill down each customer and be able to see their statement just from here in a flexible manner. So this we can use these filters. We can use the periods. We can use the dates. We can use these filters to be able to get different sites of reports. Before I move out of there, I'll go back there again and be able to mention that you are able to customize your report. Yeah, maybe for example, there are very specific fields that you want to appear in the system, so you can select them and have only those in the system. So because it's not everyone who needs all those details of the report, so you can be able to customize that. From there, we can be able to see another report like the loan aging report. This will be able to give you a view of loans that are due in 30. Those that are aged 30 and below, 30 to 60, 60 to 90, 90 and above, and you can be able to do your assessment and do some management decisions regarding these loans. We also have a PAR report, portfolio performance. We can be able see how our portfolio is performing. Yeah, we can be able to see that using this report. We have an advanced one here that will be able to pop your percentages of the portfolio performance. As you can see, yeah, we have our figures here, and we can be able to print them. We can be able to export them to PDF, to Word, to any other format that we want. So I said those are the activities. Those are the major activities on loan, and all those activities, as we do them, report to our accounting module. So when we come to accounting, we can be able to directly go to the financial reports and be able to load our trial balance, load our balance sheet, load our profit and loss. And our auditing is quite easy because our report has a drill down. If I want to interrogate the valuation fees income, I can double click on this figure, go to the specific ledger, and I can drill down to the level of the journal and be able to see specific transactions that amount that contribute to that amount. We can do the same for the balance sheet. We can do the same for the profit and loss. We have financial reports that are periodic where we can be able to choose. We want to see profits per month, in a range of 1 week, in 1 day. Yeah, like we can be able to filter that. In our accounting, we also can be able to see our accounts ledger. For example, if I want to see Bank of Africa, for example, I can load that, and there are no transactions for that. I don't know, cash in hand should have some transactions. Yes, rightly so. So if you can be able to see a certain ledger and be able to interrogate it. In the same way, we are able to do other accounting transactions like journals. We can pass journals. Yeah, we can be able to do funds transfer. We can be able to transfer funds from one cash book to another using this window. We can also be able to do, most importantly, we can be able to do cash book reconciliation. Yeah, we can reconcile our cash book. We can tick against our banking slips and be able to reconcile our cash books. Other activities are end year financial periods. We can be able to merge branch accounts. If you have more than one branch and you want to have a report that incorporates figures for all the branches. We have other reports like the reports we showed you. You can see we have other reports, the cash flow position, customer balance list, chart of accounts list, and such. So apart from those operations, the other separate thing that we are required to do is book overheads. We need to book our expenses, where when we come in, we will be able to design with you your chart of accounts, get the expense categories. So the person booking expenses will just need to come to expenses, and it's a one-line activity that does not require you to be an accountant to be able to perform it. So in this, you're just required to be able to see what expense it is, what amount it is, the reference, yeah, and then you book line by line and be able to save that, and that also, once approved, will be able to report to the accounting module. So basically, for a microfinance, you'll be able to do all the operations that relates to processing a loan. You'll be able to enter your expenses, and you'll be able to do your accounting. The same way we have gone through that, you'll be able to work with your salary activities. You'll be able to process. You'll be able to book all your employees. You'll pick their details. Be able to do the payroll, generate a payroll, and you will be able to give your employee pay slips. We can be able to process your employee pay slips. We will be able to do reporting, statutory reporting, whether it's NHIF, NSSF. Yeah, we'll be able to process all the tax reports, yeah, which are all formatted in the same way that they are required in those statutory organizations. So we'll end our video there, and just like we said, we'll have some subsequent videos that will be able to explain each process slowly by slowly to be able to get the process. In case you require a demo, a physical demo, we've given you our contacts. Our contacts are in the video, and you'll be able to get us through those numbers, and we can be able to visit you and perform a demo that will be comprehensive. Thank you very much.